Space Coffee, presented by Science at NASA. Astronauts on the International Space Station give up many pleasures to take those giant leaps in the name of science. They leave behind fresh vegetables, relaxing hot showers, warm sunshine, gently misting rain, and much more. One of the things astronauts say they miss most is a good cup of coffee. How would you like to start your morning sucking freeze-dried coffee through a straw from a sealed plastic bag? Good news for astronauts. Morning Joe recently got an upgrade. On April 20th, SpaceX delivered to the space station a new microgravity coffee machine named ISS Espresso. Our aerospace engineers have designed a coffee maker that can function in microgravity conditions, says David Avino of the Italian engineering firm Argotec. Working together with the coffee company Lavazza and the Italian Space Agency, we have brought authentic Italian espresso onto the International Space Station. No one wants to drink Italian espresso from a plastic bag, however. What astronauts need is a zero-G coffee cup. Fortunately, 6 of these wonders have been delivered to the space station as well. Fluid physicist Mark Weislogel of Portland State University and IRPI LLC, who helped invent the cups, explains why they are necessary. If you try to use a regular coffee mug, you might not get the coffee to your face, says Weislogel. It would be trapped at the bottom of the mug. In low-gravity environments like the space station, fluids tend to get sticky, which are overwhelmed by gravity on Earth, rule the day in space. As a result, coffee tends to cling to the walls of the cup. You could dip your tongue in the cup and lick the hot coffee out, or you could throw it out of the cup and suck down the scalding blob that forms in the air. No thanks. The zero-G coffee cup solves these problems by going with the flow, putting the strange behavior of fluid in microgravity to work. Basically, explains Weislogel, the liquid piles up right at the lip of the cup and keeps flowing as you sip. It pours out by the combined effects of your mouth, the wetting conditions of the fluid, surface tension, and the particular shape of the cup. This oddball cup wouldn't work on Earth, but it is a marvel in space. Weislogel and colleagues learned how to make the coffee cup by conducting capillary flow experiments on board the station. For years, they've been studying how fluids on the station climb the walls of their containers, turn corners, and perform other maneuvers that defy earthly intuition. It's not all about the coffee, he says. We need to understand how fluids behave in any container. The operation of many critical space station systems, air conditioning, refrigerators, toilets, cryogenic fuel tanks, medical treatments, the water supply, and everything else that involves liquids depends on the ebb and flow of fluids. These systems must work without gravity if they're to be used on the International Space Station or on a spaceship en route to Mars, he adds. Compared to those other systems, coffee is not in the critical path of operation, says Weislogel. Try telling that to the astronauts about 5:30 tomorrow morning. For updates from the International Space Station, go to www.nasa.gov/station. And for more eye-opening science news, stay tuned to science.nasa.gov.
Hey everyone, just doing this video to kind of point out some of the problems with our good old space station up there. I noticed some glitches in the matrix. This was from last night, December 15th, 2015 at 6:18 Greenwich Mean Time. First, we're going to take a look here at the shadows of the ISS. I want you to pay attention here to where the arrow is. This is the first sunset of the 3-hour uplink they had. And you notice the shadow there is just right below that little white circle. Now on this second sunset, the space station has traveled around the Earth at 17,000 kilometers an hour. The Earth is flying around the sun at 67,000 miles per hour. So how is it possible that this space station is in the exact position that it was for the first sunset? Now take a minute to think about what you just saw, and if you have to go back and look at it, look at it. But for these shadows to be exactly in the same position, the space station would have to occupy the exact same space. We know that's not true according to what NASA says. The space station is flying around the Earth, and the Earth is flying around the sun. I've already given you those numbers. You can work out how far it would have traveled, so it can't occupy the same space and time for those shadows to directly fall under the white painted circles. The other thing I want you to notice, and if you go back to the start of this clip here, you can see it a little bit better, but this metallic structure here that I have the arrow pointed to, it continuously becomes transparent, and you can see the cloud patterns below it. The CGI screen is rendering it as part of the clouds, as well as this solar panel or heat radiator that's sticking out. It slowly becomes transparent as well. It's just so fake. Once you have it pointed out to you, you can start to watch this yourself, and you'll notice mistakes. So that was mainly what I wanted to point out. So I'm going to go back to the beginning of the whole clip so you can see everything continuous. So you can see I didn't edit it out or anything. I was on the live ISS feed. And you can see down there at the bottom, there's the date and time. And I just missed the live feed. It went blue, so I went back to the last 3 hours. And that's when I noticed the different inconsistencies with the space station. And that's something we need to get away from calling it to. We need to stop calling it a space station, and we need to stop calling that a sun, because that's not the way the sun acts. That's just a light. You can see the light flicker. And notice too that solar panel there is now solid again. But this is just a joke. You can't tell me this is real. I think what's going on too is the light source is independent from the green screen light source. So that's why you'll see the sun completely disappear. The space station will be lit up. They'll basically just switch the light off and make it fade to black. It cuts out here just for a second, and I just speed it up to get through the blue screen. It happens all the time. Like, they're right by satellites, but they can't get a solid signal. Like, give me a break. What a joke. Okay, so it turns back on. And I want you to notice those shadows that I was pointing out. This is where the first sunset starts to occur. It would just be impossible for that space station to occupy the same time space that it was the first time it went around. Like, even if it was tilted just a little bit, that shadow would be way different. So here it goes. Here's the first sunset. Here's the fake, or I gotta stop calling it a sunset. Here's the first light shut off. It's kind of like fade the light down a little bit. Like, I don't know why they're flashing it. Maybe they're trying to simulate it going through the Earth's atmosphere. And then it goes dark, but it's not like dark. So I think then they just fade to black after this point. What a joke. Can't see any stars, nothing. No meteorites. No meteorites striking the Earth, no lightning strikes, nothing. You can't see anything. Just shut the green screen off, turn off the light, they'll buy it. I bought it for a long time, so I can't blame you if you're buying it right now. So I know this is a little bit of a long section. Feel free to just skip through this till it switches back on. I'm just trying to show the consistency of the video, that this was two different sunsets. You can even go back and watch the cloud patterns from the first sunset to the second sunset, and they're completely different. So it's not like it was on a loop. But I think on the green screen, the clouds do go around. They project it through different clouds every time, but the light source is probably behind the model, and it just goes sort of up and over it just to change that light shadowing, to give it somewhat of a real look. Because if they did the so-called space station with CGI, it would just look a little bit too fake, you know, so they have to have a little bit of that realness. So there you go, it pops back on. So I'm just kind of skipping through here a little bit, just to kind of show like how stupid this looks. Like, it just looks so freaking fake. And I want you to notice that, again, that metallic structure there, where the arrow is pointing, where the satellite dish, it should be completely solid, but it becomes transparent throughout the video. Same with that solar panel, or maybe it's something they say to radiate the heat off. I don't know how you radiate heat off into space. They say space is a vacuum and devoid of molecules, so how do you transfer heat? You can't. It would just continuously heat up. So there we go. The light switched on. Oh. And just that, like, I don't know what their explanation is for that, why every time they turn the light on that they flash it like that. It's just comment section, you know, like nobody points this stuff out. Like, I swear they're robots. They just talk about the most mundane, boring shit ever. I'm banned from there. I went on there a few times to talk, and I didn't realize I was banned because your comments still show up until you log out. You can go back and check, and they're not there, so you're basically just talking to yourself. And it shuts off again. So I'm just getting it closer here to the second sunset, so you can see that for that space station to be flying around in space like that, and to occupy the exact same position in space the second time it went around, it's absolutely impossible. It can't happen. Like, they're not that accurate. You know, and it's just so fake. So you can see that metallic structure there, how it's becoming transparent. You can see the clouds right through it. If they're really white clouds, you'll see a bit of white. If they get to be more blue over the ocean, you'll see some blue. So I'm just continuing to skip forward through the video. So I pre-recorded this on ISS Live, and I did a screen recording, and so I'm doing the audio over top of this. So I recorded this last night. And you can just see there how that solar panel, whatever they want to call it, is becoming transparent again. Especially, seems like as it gets closer to the edge there's like that little blurry part on the green screen of the fake Earth. It looks like it gets a little bit blurry, and the closer that whatever they want to call it gets to the edge, it kind of I don't think their solar panels are going to work that well if they're transparent. What a joke. Okay, let's do a little magic trick here. And oh, they're solid again. So we're approaching the second sunset, and if you go back to the first sunset, you can see the clouds are a different pattern. So it's not like they can't say that was just a looped feed or something. And I'm willing to bet if you go back and find other videos of this exact same camera angle, the sun will go down right below those circles every time. Because it's a fixed light source, and that's probably just a small model on a table. Okay, here it goes, second sunset, right below that little white circle there. And just look at how bright it is. Like, it's just... It'll be really bright, and then they'll dim it to orange, and then the feed's gone. Here we go, we're getting closer, getting excited. But this is good, I'm pointing this out to you guys. Now, you can maybe start to just go watch the ISS live feed on your own. You might have never done that before, but now you will. Just go watch it for 10 minutes. You know, if you're cooking dinner, just switch on the ISS feed and just watch it for a while, and you'll start to wonder if it's real. Here we go, it's getting close. And just the way the light shuts off too, if the sun was going down the horizon, it would be like a straight line that comes across, and the light would shut off. It wouldn't just, the light just blinks off, you can still see those shadows, and then it goes to black, and then they just fade it down to complete black. It's ridiculous. What a joke. Okay, here it comes. You know, almost like a windshield wiper. It would just swipe the darkness down. It wouldn't just, yeah, there you go. It just blinks off. It just shuts off. So I'm just going back here now just to show you a little bit more of, through that metallic structure there, you can completely see the clouds through it, showing that the CGI screen is just confusing the white of that metallic structure there as a green screen, so it projects the clouds onto it. It's just so fake. What a joke. My point of this video is when you realize it's all fake, like 100% of it is fake, you lose all the fear. You don't worry about the fake news events. It's freeing. We live in a fear-based system. Everything is fear, and it can be depressing. But when you stop worrying about all the fake news events outside your control and start to see that the powers that were's greatest fear is you realizing you are special and you living to your fullest potential, that's what puts fear in the authority. The thought that you might realize you have the moral high ground. They are liars, murderers, and thieves, and they have no right to make laws over you. No one should be able to tell you that you can't do something as long as it isn't harming another person. It's your body and it's your free will. And when people realize this, and when that happens, when people stop paying their taxes and participating in this nonsense, it will change, and it will all change for the better. This system of control will be defunded, and they won't have money to make war and pay fat cat politicians to hand out no-bid contracts, live in luxury, bail out banks for trillions, and destroy lives. That is their biggest fear, is when you don't listen to a word they say, not because you believe they are liars, but because now you know. Thanks everyone. Take it easy.